All right, so 2018's Black Panther is directed by Ryan Coogler, written by Ryan Coogler and Joe Robert Cole, based on the Marvel Comics written by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. It stars Chadwick Boseman, of course, as T'Challa slash Black Panther. Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. He is amazing in this film and amazing in every other film I've seen him in, and he will definitely be missed. And him playing the character T'Challa will definitely be missed for me, especially just not being able to see him play that character anymore. It really hurts, man. I don't want to like make myself emotional in this video, but I know for a fact I'm gonna get very emotional in Wakanda Forever. So yeah, we'll see if I can get through that review. But as for this one, I should be all right because we still have him in this movie, and seeing him in this movie kind of makes it feel like he's still alive in a way. And whenever somebody like this passes on, the thing that we can cherish still is their work. So I loved rewatching this movie. I've seen this movie so many times, but it has been a while. Before rewatching this film, it had been a while since I'd watched it, probably close to a year. And I watched it on Disney Plus, and they have the whole IMAX enhanced version, and I watched that there. My whole TV screen was filled, which I just love. And yeah, it's a visually stunning film. I love the imagery in this movie. I mean, there's some CGI and stuff that obviously doesn't work in aspects, which, by the way, I will be getting into some spoilers a little bit here. So if you haven't seen the movie, I would recommend probably clicking off. But yeah, stick around if you don't really care or if you have seen the movie. But yeah, I just wanted to preface that real quick. But yeah, obviously there's moments of CGI that don't look very good, especially with that final battle between Killmonger, played by Michael B. Jordan, Eric Killmonger. Very great villain, very great character that I'll talk about in a little bit. But with that whole final battle between his character and T'Challa, obviously the whole, vibranium mind thing, it didn't look too great. But the thing I'm interested to see going into Wakanda Forever is after having the time and having the advancements that we've had in technology over just the course of a handful of years, I think they're going to be able to do a lot more with this world and make it look even better. Not to say that it looks horrible here, it looks amazing, especially that first scene where you first fly into Wakanda. Oh my god, and you're just like, I want to go there so bad. But yeah, I mean, the world that they've built, the world building in this movie, just this movie, it's incredible. I mean, what takes a lot of films, what well, I guess I should kind of reword that. What takes many films a lot of movies to do, they do perfectly in this one film, I feel like. And it does follow the typical Marvel formula when it comes to these origin films, but the thing that you have to do if you are following that formula is to set yourself apart and make it unique. And this movie definitely does that. With, like I said before, the amazing villain in here. The thing about the character of Eric Killmonger, played by Michael B. Jordan, is that you can kind of understand where he's coming from. And yes, his methods and his end goal is chaotic and some might say evil. That's what makes him a villain. The reason why he's doing it, you can understand and sympathize with. And that's something not a whole lot of movies, for whatever reason, can really do with their villains. Um, there's so many Marvel movies, and not just Marvel movies, but movies in general, where it comes to having an antagonist villain, where the reason for them being a villain doesn't really make sense. They just seem like they're a villain for the sake of being a villain. And in a way, uh, this might be a controversial opinion here, but the character of Thanos, over the course of two movies, he's just kind of the villain that says cool lines, and they don't really give a whole lot of depth to his character, aside from obviously the Gamora scene, and then maybe like him talking about how his homeworld was destroyed. But aside from that, like, they don't really give him a whole lot other than just kind of being a villain for the sake of being a villain. And yes, you can understand where that villain is coming from, which makes him a good villain. because, yeah, the resources are depleting, and people are dying off, and there's homelessness, and there's all sorts of different things, not only on, in the universe, Marvel universe, not only on Earth, but also many other planets all over the universe, all over the galaxy, and even other timelines. Um, so the discussion of Thanos being right isn't necessarily like, I mean, it's a little controversial, but you can kind of see where he's coming from. And that's the thing about villains. They have motives that make sense for the most part and might be a little shaky, but it's the things they do to achieve their goals that make them the villain. And that's something they do with the character here. But even by the end of the movie, you're like, uh, and spoiler alert, but yeah, he dies at the end. By the end of the movie, you're like, I don't want this character to die. I want to see this character again. And that's not always the case with a lot of villains. You think of villains like Whiplash, like that's a very forgettable character. The Mandarin from Iron Man 3. That's a really weak character, and yeah, I'm just naming Iron Man villains right now, but yeah, this movie does follow the formula, but it makes things different in ways. I mean, yeah, you have the protagonist and antagonist having very similar power sets fighting each other, and I mean, we've seen that in the original Iron Man. We've seen that in did we really see that in Thor? I mean, kind of, I guess. What else have we seen that in? I know Shang-Chi, love that movie too. I would say, along with Black Panther, that movie is in my top 5 favorite Marvel movies. Um, I know we've seen it in other ones too. Captain Marvel. I mean, pretty much most of the Marvel origin films have the protagonist fighting the antagonist, and the antagonist has a similar power set to the protagonist. But yeah, let me talk about some of the other cast members in here. I just remembered that I only mentioned Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan. We have other really great stars in this film, such as Lupita Nyong'o as Nakia. If you don't know her, she was in Jordan Peele's Us. I'm trying to think of other movies she's been in, but I'm just like completely blanking right now. But I know she's been in a lot, so don't hate me in the comments down below. But we also have Denai Guerrera as Okoye, yeah, Okoye. Um, and that is an amazing character. I love Okoye. Um, she's definitely a badass female and the leader of the Dora Milaje, which is basically the female warriors that not only protect but also serve and fight for the king, I guess you could say, or queen. But yeah, Denai Guerrera, I'm sure a lot of people know, played Michonne on The Walking Dead. I believe she's still on that show, but isn't it wrapping up soon? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd like to know. But yeah, we also have Letitia Wright. Is it Letitia or Latita? I think it's Letitia Wright, who plays Shuri, the sister to Black Panther slash T'Challa. She's a very amazing character. Got it right there. And will most likely become the next Black Panther in Wakanda Forever. That's at least my theory. I'm sure it'll come true, though. I don't think it's a huge secret. We also have Angela Bassett, great actress there, playing Ramonda, the queen. Or I guess she's not really the queen anymore since Black Panther becomes the king in this movie. I never know how monarchs work, to be honest, but um, is it monarchs or monarchies? Probably monarchies. I think monarchs are butterflies. But yeah, she plays obviously the mother to T'Challa in this movie, and she's fantastic in this movie as well. We have Daniel Kaluuya, who a lot of people know from Jordan Peele's, I almost said Us, Jordan Peele's Get Out. Fantastic in that movie. Oh my god, in my top 10 favorites for sure. But he plays Wakabi, which is the love interest. I don't know if he's like probably like married to her. I don't know, but Okoye and Wakabi are romantic together, I guess you could say. We also have, excuse me, Winston Duke as M'Baku. Excuse me, jeez. that was something. We have Winston Duke as M'Baku, which I really love that character. He starts off being a villain, and you almost feel like, huh, is this going to be the main villain of the movie? I wonder. And I feel like that's how it was supposed to be set up, but because of the marketing, it was pretty obvious that Michael B. Jordan would be the villain. So I don't think anybody really thought he'd be the main villain at any point. But they do set him up to be a villainous character and more of an antagonist, and by the end of the movie, he helps out in the fight against Killmonger. So, and especially in Infinity War and well, mainly Infinity War, he doesn't do a whole lot in Endgame because he was dusted, I believe. Or no, guess he wasn't dusted, but he just didn't really do anything up until the end. But yeah, I like how in this movie he does join the side, and then in Infinity War, uh, you know, T'Challa's like, "Thank you for fighting with us," and he's like, "Yeah, I got you, bro." I mean, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but I don't know, something about that character I always liked, just because, yes, he started off as a villain. Yes, he could have taken advantage of them when they were at their weakest, when they were coming to him with the herb, I think it was. That's what they called it. That gives them the Black Panther power. He could have easily taken that for himself, but he knew that. I keep wanting to say Chadwick. I mean, when I see this character, I honestly just see Chadwick at this point. I mean, is that a bad thing? I don't necessarily think so. But yeah, when he decides to give it to T'Challa because he's like, he's the one that needs to do this. And I was just like, damn, dude. In a way, I'm just like, man, I kind of wish he would have taken it. But, then we wouldn't have gotten the great movie that we have now. But yeah, who else do we have here? We got Forrest Whitaker as Zuri, great actor there. And then we have Denzel Whitaker, his son in real life, playing the young version of that character, which is very cool. We also have Martin Freeman as Everett K. Ross, Andy Serkis as Ulysses Claw, which Everett K. Ross was introduced in Captain America Civil War, and then Ulysses Claw was introduced in Avengers Age of Ultron. Um, Glad they got rid of it. Ulysses Claw relatively early on in the movie because that character was annoying as fuck. And also, I'm very curious as to what his SoundCloud music would sound like. One of the jokes in here that doesn't really age well and kind of already didn't age well when the movie came out, along with the "What are those" joke. Um, those were outdated by the time the movie had already come out. So don't do those types of jokes in movies. It dates them, but it doesn't ruin the movie by any means. Um, but we also have, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing this wrong, John Caney as T'Chaka. Sorry, I can't talk. My mouth is really dry right now. This isn't my first take. But yeah, he obviously is the the father to T'Challa. Who else? Florence Kusumba, hopefully I'm saying that right, as Ao. Um, she is going to be a relatively more important character in the sequel from what I hear, so just thought I'd mention her. Also a member of the Dora Milaje. And then Sterling K. Brown as New Jobu, hopefully I'm saying that right, probably not. And he plays kind of in the flashbacks. Wow. The flashbacks, he plays Killmonger's father, basically. So, yeah, let's get into the movie. Well, I guess I already talked about a decent majority of what I have to say, but yeah, really great movie here. I'm very excited for Wakanda Forever. I'm definitely going to cry watching that movie. But it's just good to see Chadwick Boseman again in this film. It had been a little while since I had watched this movie, and just rewatching it, especially with the Disney Plus IMAX enhanced version, just seeing the beauty of the film and just seeing how wonderfully it was, how I guess how wonderfully it was filmed is what I want to say, is just the cinematography of the film, and just all the beautiful nature shots and just the beautiful architecture shots of Wakanda as well. A lot of the characters, a lot of the actors in here, all the actors, let's not lie, all the actors in this movie do a really great job. Fantastic job. And it makes me very eager to see them all return in the sequel and just see how their characters evolve, as opposed from this movie and then everything that happened in between, heading into Wakanda Forever. So I'm very intrigued to see where it goes. But yeah, the character of Eric Killmonger, very great villain there. Very, very much one of my favorites. But let me see here. Really great world building. The CGI in some spots, I don't know if I said this already, but towards the end there, that final battle, just CGI doesn't look great there. But yeah, there are moments. Oh yeah, here we go. There are some moments and lines delivered by Chadwick Boseman in here that seem to hold a lot more weight after his passing, such as the moment when you see that. I'm just gonna call it a plane because I don't really know what to call their aircrafts, but you see it crash down, and then you see the Black Panther rise up from the smoke on top of the ship, and then the mask comes off, and he's like, "And I am not dead." And just something about that, like, it almost made me cry. I was just like, oh my god. And there's certain moments in here, just inspirational lines and things that he says that just seems to hit me a lot more, and I'm sure it hits a lot of other people a lot more after he passed away. And I'm not sure if he knew he had cancer while filming this film, but I know for a fact he knew that he did, at least filming Infinity War and Endgame, I believe. So just having him fight through the pain, fight through the sickness, and deliver something that the fans really needed, especially obviously the black fans out there, the black Marvel fans, the just black people in general needed this movie. This was a cultural event for people. Um, like, of course, Avengers Endgame held a lot of weight for a lot of people, and everybody saw it, even people that weren't, Marvel fans. But it was equally, if not more, important with Black Panther because it was something that a certain group of people that has been oppressed for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. This is their representation. Very few white characters in this movie, and that's for a good reason because you need to have the representation on screen for the people. This is, I mean, yes, it's made for the Marvel fans. Yes, it's made for fans of movies. Yes, I'm still going to see this movie even though I'm a white guy. And sorry if this is somewhat controversial to you guys, but I don't think I'm saying anything too controversial here. Um, but for that group of people, like, that's an important thing for them. It's a cultural thing. Um, I mean, I'm not saying anything anybody hasn't already said before, but it meant a lot to a lot of people, and that's a big reason why I love it, but it's not the only reason why I love it because there's just so much good writing in here. There's the music, especially like the Dora Milaje music. Every time the Dora Milaje is like fighting or whatever, and it's like do do. I'm not doing it justice, but it's fucking incredible. And honestly, if I went to the gym, it would hype me up. Um, by the way, I need to get on that, but that's a topic for another day. But yeah, let me see here. Trying to see if I have anything else I really want to say. Oh yeah, I wanted to say this. This movie is basically Black Panther's Civil War. I don't know for sure if this movie. I don't think it came out. I don't think it was the next movie to come out after Civil War, but I could be wrong. But in this movie, when Killmonger takes over as king, you know, you have people divided. You have the Dora Milaje divided from the other, and I forget the exact group names, but the one that Daniel Kaluuya is part of, and I'm pretty sure he's the leader of. Maybe not the leader, but like, he sticks to tradition and he sticks with his king. And even then, when he finds out that T'Challa is still alive, he stays with Killmonger because Killmonger has newer ideas. And I mean, again, there's two sides to the story. There's the people who want to adapt and change, and that's a good thing. But the ways they're going about it, not so much. And then you have the people who want to stick to tradition and don't want things to change. But Black Panther, T'Challa, he realizes that things need to, and that's what makes him a really great hero. Is that he hears the other side and he agrees with them, but he doesn't agree with the way that they're going about it. And it's just really great conflict. Oh, it's stuff like that that I really love because it's like it's layered. It's not just like simple black and white. I guess that's probably not the best term to say in this, but you know what I mean. Like it's not just it's not a two-sided thing. Like there's just so many layers to it, um, and it just makes for a really great watching experience if you're actually paying attention, which so many people when they watch movies do not. I mean, I go to the movies all the time and watch, and I'm just gonna go into this rant for a little bit before I wrap this video up. But um, so many people go to the movies and just sit on their freaking phone. I'm gonna not swear because I will go off, but they sit on their freaking phone. They honestly are. Oh my god, what was the movie I watched the other day? Terrifier 2. I was in the theater and there was somebody sitting there on their phone, and then they start watching sports. They start watching like football or some shit, and you can hear, oh my god, I hate the noise of football. Like I'm not a sports hater, but I hate the noise of football and like just sports in general being on TV because it sounds like I'm in a goddamn sports bar, and I don't always want to be in a goddamn sports bar, especially when I'm in a movie theater. Uh, but you just hear the audience cheering, and then the sports announcer like, "Oh yeah, they got the ball now, and they're going the other way, and one down, two to go," and like shit like that. And I'm just like, dude, we're watching a fucking movie. Turn it off. Why am I going on this rant for my review of Black Panther? I don't know. But yeah, I guess I went on the rant because I was saying people don't pay attention to movies nowadays, and when you do, you can oftentimes find deeper meanings and stuff. Deeper meanings, is that the way I should say it grammatically? I don't know, but you can find deeper meaning in things and appreciate them more if you're actually paying attention. And I guess that's just the message I'm going to leave you guys with. Is just pay attention to the movie, please. um but yeah, that's a weird way to end this review. Overall, I'm gonna give Black Panther a 9.5 out of 10. It's nearly perfect for me. It's honestly really just the CGI towards the end in that final battle that really holds me back. I would say everything else about this movie, maybe Ulysses Claw. You know what? Let's make it a 9. Ulysses Claw annoys the hell out of me, and in my opinion, he isn't too much of this movie, but I understand why they had to have him in this movie. Um, and then the whole, CGI thing. 9 out of 10. I think it's a near perfect film. If you haven't seen it, well, I just spoiled a bunch of it for you, so sorry about that. But I'm sure most of you watching this at this point have watched it, or at least just don't care about spoilers. But have you seen it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you in the middle? I'm sure a lot of people love it. I mean, I have yet to meet a person that hates this movie. Now, people that dislike it, I don't know. I'm sure there's people that do dislike it, and I can understand certain reasons that they might, such as following the formula and the CGI and just certain aspects like that, I guess. But um, I mean, it's a great film. And for the people who stuck around because they don't care about spoilers, or if they are watching this by accident, or I don't even know what, are you going to watch Black Panther? Why or why not? I don't know. And then for the people who like these movies and are actually going to see movies, are you going to go watch Wakanda Forever? And give me some theories going into it. If you've already watched it, please do not spoil anything in the comments of this video. But yeah, just give me some theories on what you think might happen, or tell me if you're anticipating it, if you think it's going to be your next favorite Marvel movie. Really, whatever you want to comment down below is basically what I'm trying to say. Just comment anything down below, and just I'd love to engage with you. Pretty much anybody who comments, I typically either try to like heart their comment, like their comment, or actually respond to what they're saying. Most of the time, I respond. So yeah, I would very much appreciate a comment. Just a little bit of engagement with you guys. I'd very much like that. But also leave a like on the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. I will be back in the next video with it should be my first reactions, like first reaction after getting out of the theater for Black Panther 2. After that, non-spoiler review. After that, spoiler review. So that's what's coming up soon. But thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next one.